President Biden earlier today taking aim at so-called ghost guns, saying he wants to treat gun kits as firearms. Here to weigh in, we got an expert on this, Cam Edwards, editor of BearingArms.com. Cam, always good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for the invite, Buck.
Okay, let's take these. You know, it's been one of these days, as you know. We have these times where Democrats decide that they're just going to have this flurry of gun orders, and they're going to do all these things on guns, and people, even who believe in the right to bear arms, who follow this issue closely, say, wait, hold on. Now we're focused on, at one point it was bump stocks. Remember that? Now let's take this one by one. Ghost guns, Cam. Why is the president talking about ghost guns? What's the truth here? Why is there a focus on this?
Well, the president is talking about ghost guns because gun control activists have been talking about ghost guns for about a year. That's their latest scary term, by the way, and it's their latest invented term. What they're actually talking about are home-built firearms, which are perfectly legal in this country and always have been. We have a tradition going back that predates the founding of this nation of people building their own firearms. And as long as that gun doesn't enter the stream of commerce, as long as you don't try to sell that gun, then, yeah, you're absolutely allowed to build and own one. What Biden wants to try to do, though, is to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to do so, right? He wants to require background checks on the sales of unfinished frames or receivers. That's the actual part of a firearm that the ATF defines as a gun itself. And so you can buy, as Joe Biden said, kits that have frames or receivers that are not completed, and you finish them off yourself. And the ATF has said that's perfectly fine. Now, Biden wants the ATF to redefine what a firearm actually is under federal law so that things that aren't a firearm are considered a firearm. You'd have to go through a background check. Again, they would have to be serialized. And who knows what this would mean to the Americans who currently own a home-built firearm? Would they be allowed to keep them, or would this new action proposed by President Biden, would it turn them into criminals? I think there are a lot of unanswered questions here.
Cam, as we have with so many of these things. So now, okay, so we've established what this ghost gun term is. I'd honestly not even heard this until recently. It's come up with, as you said, some of the activists and people that want to do gun control, because it's not really a thing, right? They've created this new scary term, as you point out. Is there any evidence that there are a lot of ghost guns that are being used in violent crimes? Is there any reason to believe that if they change the law so that you could no longer build a firearm? I'm assuming prohibited possessors can't build their own firearm. For if you're a felon, it's not like this is legal for you, so there's still laws that all apply. Why the focus on this? Is there any evidence to support that this would actually result in less gun violence?
No, there's no evidence at all. I mean, look, we know the vast majority of criminals. There may be some criminals out there who are building their own guns, but we know the vast majority of criminals acquire their weapons illegally, right? They steal them. They get them on the black market. They have a friend or a family member go and buy that gun legally and then give it to somebody who's prohibited by law from possessing them. That's how criminals are getting a hold of guns. And nothing that Joe Biden talked about today would actually do anything to address violent criminals who, as you say, obtain a firearm illegally and are in clear violation of the law. This is a broad net cast over legal gun owners in the hopes of catching a couple of criminals. And it's the wrong way to go about it. But I think the real intent here is to make life more difficult and onerous for those Americans who want to exercise the right to keep and bear arms.
I got another one here. This one actually from Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, talking about AR pistols now. This is what he said.
Some individuals purchase certain kinds of stabilizing braces that, when attached to a pistol, effectively convert it into a short-barreled rifle, a weapon that is, in the words of the statute, quote, intended to be fired from the shoulder. Such braces make high-powered pistols more stable and accurate while still concealable.
Okay, so what's going on here, Cam, with the mega pistols with the brace that's concealable, but now more deadly, even though it's firing the same bullet, the same speed of bullet? Explain what's going on here.
Well, what's going on here is a backdoor gun ban, and it's plain and simple. Right now, AR-style pistols are currently legal to own. The ATF basically has had guidance that says, look, if you attach a stabilizing brace to that AR pistol and you use it to shoot from the shoulder, as opposed to actually using a stabilizing brace against your forearm, that could turn that gun into a short-barreled rifle, which would be required to be registered under the National Firearms Act. Note, though, the language is could. right? What Biden and Merrick Garland want to do is to simply declare that the 4 million or so AR-style pistols that are legally owned in this country are all of a sudden, they're all short-barreled rifles. And everybody has to register those guns under the National Firearms Act. And if they don't, they could be looking at a decade in federal prison, a $100,000 fine, and obviously a felony conviction on their name for simply maintaining possession of the gun that they currently own without registering it with the government. Now, there's not a lot of evidence that these firearms are used in a lot of crime. It looks like, unfortunately, the shooter in Boulder may have used one of these types of firearms. But, Buck, look, we know we can't ban our way to safety. We know this. The number of homicides in which a rifle of any kind is used in this country in any given year is about half the number of deaths due to fists and feet, right? You know, just simply using our own body as a murder weapon. So I reject wholeheartedly the idea that we can address effectively public safety by trying to ban this gun or that gun or a stabilizing brace or make this illegal and that illegal. We know what the answer is. The answer is targeted deterrence, to focus on those individuals who are the most likely offenders, and frankly, the most likely victims of violent crime. These individuals are well known to law enforcement. Most of them already have criminal records, and there are proven programs like Project Ceasefire that have a track record of success at reducing homicides by as much as 50% in cities where these programs have been put into effect. Biden and Garland are ignoring these programs and, again, are instead trying to restrict the rights of legal gun owners.